Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the webcast today on utilizing the power of Autodesk Docs. My name is Jatin, and I am the AEC Tech Consulting Lead here at VinZero. In this webinar, we will learn how Autodesk Docs can connect data, workflows, and teams seamlessly with a live product demo. Let's start by first going over where Autodesk Docs fits within the Autodesk portfolio of construction cloud offerings, then homing in on Autodesk Docs features around document control, document revisioning, and document approval. There will, of course, be a demonstration of Docs in action. There will also be a Q&A session at the end as well. Before we get into the main topics, just a brief overview of what VinZero is and does. We are a solutions organization that fosters innovation through delivering software and hardware solutions, consulting, training, development, and managed services. We've become a trusted advisor to our clients due to our breadth and depth of our service offerings and technical expertise, our commercial agility, and understanding of customer service. Why VinZero? Mainly three reasons. We have an excellent ANZ footprint with offices in large parts of Australia, New Zealand, and now across the globe. We're actually one of the largest Autodesk partners in the world and considered by businesses we deal with to be a trusted advisor. In addition to Autodesk, we also partner with vendors such as Microsoft, HP, Lenovo, Unity, etc. Lastly, because most of us are from the industry, we understand the challenges our clients face, and therefore we can deliver solutions through a combination of experience and innovation. A little bit more about me. My name is Jatin Sharma. I have over 8 years experience in the construction industry as a BIM manager, designer, and technical instructor. Currently, my role at VinZero is that of an AEC Tech Consulting Lead, and my software skills include AutoCAD, Revit, the Autodesk Construction Cloud, Autodesk Build, Navisworks, Format, and 3ds Max. I actually initially completed a Bachelor of Science majoring in geology and physics before accidentally stumbling into the building industry, working as a drafty and then transitioning into a Revit certified professional, and from there a BIM consulting lead. Okay, here is an agenda of what we'll be going through. As I mentioned previously, we'll first start by going over a high-level overview of Autodesk Docs and the Autodesk Construction Cloud. Then we will home in on the features which exist within Autodesk Docs in the form of a live demo. Again, there will be a Q&A session at the end. Okay, now that the introductions and agenda points are done, we can get into the meat of the webinar. Let's go through a high-level overview of Autodesk Docs, which serves as a document management foundation within the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform. So what is Autodesk Docs? Well, the Autodesk Docs is a part of the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform, okay, and serves as a document management or a CDE foundation within that environment. So this module will allow team members to have access to the information they need, as well as provide a solution to cloud level document control, document versioning, and document approvals. The idea here is that all project information is stored within Autodesk Docs, and the other modules within the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform can leverage this information. Okay, this is all feeding into this emerging methodology of what we call connected construction workflows. Okay, I keep referring to the Autodesk Construction Cloud as I'm talking about Autodesk Docs. Just to provide some clarity on this, the Autodesk Construction Cloud is a unified platform that connects workflows, teams, and data at every stage of construction, with the idea that it reduces risk, maximizes efficiency, and increases profits. We can see a graphic here which broadly separates each stage of the construction lifecycle and how the Autodesk Construction Cloud can facilitate any of the said stages. The reason why this is important is because if you use an environment where you can collate and effectively manage all the information, then you can pass it over quite effectively. There's no delay in terms of model information, or have changes not be documented, or team members getting outdated data. By having a system in place from the beginning, by the end of construction, the relevant information can be handed over with confidence rather than just sending a huge data dump to the end client. If you do want a deeper dive into any of these particular areas, please get in touch. As a quick reference, we have done webinars on the design and build stages as it pertains to the Autodesk Construction Cloud. And that's all on YouTube if you want to check that out. So in terms of the Autodesk Construction Cloud, there are three elements in play here. One is Autodesk BIM Collaborate, where there are two options available depending on if you're a designer or reviewer, which is Autodesk BIM Collaborate and Autodesk BIM Collaborate Pro. Next is Autodesk Takeoff, which is actually around quantity takeoff, materials, and costing, and Autodesk Build, which is connecting your connecting the teams that are actually going on site. We've recently done a webinar on both Autodesk BIM Collaborate Pro, as well as Autodesk Build. So again, you can check that out on YouTube. You can see by this graphic here, all of this is really underpinned by Autodesk Docs to allow for these connected workflows to happen. I just want to add another note here that if you've used BIM 360 products in the past, the ACC platform is basically a consolidation of all those different tools which were available. So for example, what used to be BIM 360 Design is now BIM Collaborate Pro. Last quick note here, if you have a license of AEC Collections, okay, then you actually have access to Autodesk Docs automatically. It's part of your subscription. So if you do have a license of AEC Collections and you're not quite sure how to set up your Autodesk Docs or your ACC environment, just get in touch with us and we'll be able to help you out. Okay, now let's get into the demo portion of this webinar as it pertains to Autodesk Docs. Okay, I do have an agenda for the demo portion itself. So we're going to first start by creating a new project and setting it up with the appropriate permissions. We're going to set up a folder structure. We're going to upload some files using both the drag and drop method, as well as uploading through design software such as Revit. What document reviews look like within Autodesk Docs, what transmittals look like, and creating issues within Autodesk Docs. Okay. All right, let's get into the demonstration. So I'm going to open up my project browser, and you can access this area by going into acc.autodesk.com and then logging in with your Autodesk credentials, and you'll be presented with this splash screen, and you can see a list of the projects that you're involved with over here. Just a very quick note, you do have to be an account admin of your ACC site. So not your manage.autodesk.com admin, but your ACC site to be able to have this create project button available. You also know whether or not you're a account admin by this account administration button over here. And I'm just going to click on this as well, just to show you what that looks like. So you can see the name of your site up at the top. We're in the account admin portal, and here's a list of all the projects that are hosted within our site environment. And there's a create project button here as well. There's an interesting note here, which I just want to quickly explain. So you can create a project here, or you can create a project in your account admin area as well. But the key is that in this account admin area, next to create project, there's a little I symbol. And if I click on the symbol, it actually tells me I can go to BIM 360 by clicking on this link to create a BIM 360 project. So remember how I was saying earlier that it's a unified platform? This is an example. So your Autodesk Construction Cloud hosts not only the new Autodesk Construction Cloud projects, but your older BIM 360 projects as well. So if you were to create a project from up here, it would automatically be a Autodesk Construction Cloud project. But if you want to create a BIM 360 project, you can do so by clicking on this little eye icon here and going to BIM 360. You can also add members who are going to be part of your site, so only your company members here. You can create project templates and do a bunch of standardization and customization in this portal. Again, this is only available if you are the account admin. So we're going to go back here and we're going to create a new project. So I'm going to click on this button here and I'm going to give it a test name. So I might just go Autodesk Docs webinar. Okay, we can choose to add a project number if we want to. We can select an account. So the account here is where this project is going to be hosted. So for us, it's going to be A2K Technologies. I can choose project type if I want to. So I might just choose single family housing. This option doesn't have a big impact on the project itself. You can, if you want to, choose a project template, which will automatically create all the folders, subfolders, standardization tools, and a bunch of other things that will be readily available. If you do want more information, just get in touch with that. And you can add an address to the project location here, time zone, start date and end dates, and project value. In order to create a new project, you really only need to put in the information under the asterisk. Everything else is optional. Okay, so when you're done, I might just click on Create Project up here. And that's going to now start to create a project for us. Okay, you can see here that the interface changes. So very quick note, the name of the project is at the top here. And we can click on this little drop down and enter in the projects that we're a part of or go to other projects if we want to in this area as well. There is our project admin area, which is available to us. So if you're an account admin and you create a new project, you're going to be the first one that's going to be part of the project, and you're automatically going to be the project administrator. If you want to, you can add additional members over here, enter their email addresses, assign their company and roles, and decide whether they're going to be project member or project administrator. Just a quick note on this area here. What you also have to do is choose the level of functionality or the level of licensing that person needs to have in order to access this project. This will make a little bit more sense when we do our setup, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so if you choose things in this list that is actually not going to be a part of the project itself, that's when sometimes you'll encounter some issues. So just be aware of that. Okay. So you can see my name over here. You can see that the company is automatically listed. I could add a role as well. My access level is project admin. So up here on the left-hand side, if I click on this little drop down, these are the modules that I was talking about earlier, the modules which are currently available to me, which is not much, right? That's because we actually haven't set up the assigned products and permissions we want for this particular project. So if you only have Autodesk Docs, the only thing you would turn on is this Docs little module here. So if I hit this little slider, it's going to turn itself on by that green icon here. So if you have licensing such as Autodesk Build or Cost Management, Design Collab, Model Coordination, or Takeoff, you can go ahead and add those modules themselves. This is kind of coming back to what I was talking about, it being this platform that allows for different workflows in that connected construction environment. So for us, we're just going to turn on Docs. And now, if I click on this little drop down, you can see that Docs module is available to me. This is a common thing that we get from support. You know, people will create their project, but then they'll say, hey, none of the modules are available to me. That's because you haven't turned it on over here. Okay. So now that we have Docs set up, we can go up here and click on Docs. Okay. Oh, whoops, I'm not sure why it's done that, but that's okay. We can deal with it. So this is our environment here. You can see that we're in Docs within the Autodesk Construction Cloud. The name of the project is up here. Okay. And on this left-hand side are all of the different tools available to us within Autodesk Docs. So we have our files portion over here, which is where we're going to create our folders and our subfolders and input our files. We've got a review portion here, which is around our document reviews, transmittals, which is around our document transmittals. Issues is a collation of all the issues that we would have created in Autodesk Docs, through the different files and subfolders that we would have used. There is reporting available as well. And we have access to all the project members by clicking on this button over here. A new thing that's sort of just come about in the last couple months is something called Bridge. Okay, what Bridge allows you to do is that it allows you to share project information between different projects. So if you have a reference model that you like to use between several projects and you don't want to manually add it as part of every project, you can actually make use of Bridge to have it in a more centralized location. Again, if you want more information, you can get in touch with us. So by default, the first main folder will be project files. What I can do from here is I can click on these three little dots and I can click on add subfolder to create additional subfolders. So I might create a admin folder. Okay. I might go ahead and add another subfolder that says work in progress. Okay. And I might, if I wanted to, add an architectural folder underneath work in progress. Okay. So I'm just going to add architecture. Yeah. Okay. So the next thing that I want to quickly touch on is the permissions. Okay. What I might actually, I'll just add one more folder here. Okay. And I'll just call it PDF for now. Okay. So in terms of this architecture folder here, let's say I want to set some permissions to this folder where I only want people from the architectural team to be able to access this area. I'd click on these three little dots and I'd head over to permissions over here. Okay, so when I click on permissions, this area will pop up on the right-hand side and I can click on this little add button over here to add a permission. Okay, so you can add permissions either by using names, email addresses, roles, or companies. Very quick thing here. It's always best practice to administer what we call a role-based permission system. And the reason why is because you're able to control the permission level of a lot more project members within this project by using a role. So for example, I'm going to add the role of architect. Okay. That means that anyone who's going to get added to this project as an architect, okay, they will have X level of permission that I set over here. So it's just a nice, easy way to administer the project without having to, change the permission level of every single person. You can imagine projects sometimes get up to about 100 or 200 members, and it's going to get really, really cumbersome. Okay, so in terms of the permission level, it starts from the very basic, just being able to view files, and goes all the way up to having full administrative controls. Okay, in the middle, you can view and download. You can choose whether or not someone's able to create markups, which I'll go through in just a second. You can choose whether or not they're actually able to upload files themselves. So you can see you've got quite a bit of granular level of control. Okay, for the sake of this webinar, I might just choose edit level permissions for the architect, and I'm going to hit this add button over here. And so you can see now the architect has got the edit level permissions for this architecture folder. Just so you're aware, with regards to permissions, there's something called inherited permissions. So the permissions that you set at the top of the subfolder will get transferred across to the other subfolders underneath. So you can see here that architect have got edit level permission for the PDF, and it's inherited. Okay, so this permission is controlled by a parent folder, which is up here. Okay. So as you go about creating all of your folders, subfolders, and start inputting your files, you end up something that looks like this. Okay. So you have your admin, work in progress. You have a different folder structure depending on the type of project that you're doing. And you can see here quite a few folders and subfolders. Okay. Another really cool thing to note here is we'll go through how to upload files in just a second, because there's actually a couple different ways you can do this. But you can download a little app called the Autodesk Desktop Connector, okay? And what that does is that it will actually connect your web cloud interface to your desktop. So I'll just give you a live example of what that looks like. So I'm just going to bring this across here. So this is using my Autodesk Desktop Connector. You can see here I've got Autodesk Docs over here, right? And in Autodesk Docs, I've got all of the projects that I'm involved with. If I go to this AEC Demo Project Sandbox, which is the name of this project here, you can see here that it follows the structure that's over here. Okay, so if I was to just show that again one more time, okay, you can see here it follows the same. And so I can jump into here under work in progress. I could go to architectural. I could go to my DWG Revit model or my drawings. And I can, if I wanted to, just open it through my desktop interface. Okay. I can even upload into this interface here, which will then upload into the web environment automatically. Okay. So just to show you a quick example of this, if I go up here into my architecture and go into PDF, I'm going to show you the drag and drop method, fairly simple, just to upload some PDFs. So I've got some PDFs here, okay? And I can go ahead, select all of these, and I can just do a simple drag and drop. And that's going to now start to put all this information into this project. I don't have to wait for all of this to be completed. I can just hit the done button and it's going to happen in the background. I can go to another folder and I can drag and drop other files into that folder as well. There is a slight different workflow when it comes to CAD files, which you can choose to do, and Revit files, which I'll obviously go through in this webinar as well. So you can see here our PDFs have been uploaded, and it's now starting to populate what we call attributes. Okay, so these are some of the attributes that we see here, versioning. So within Autodesk Docs, you can control some level of versioning. It gives us size, gives us last updated, who it got updated by. We can add a description here. What we can also do is click on this little cogwheel and we can see a list of all the different attributes that are available. If there's an attribute that you would like added and it's not already here, you can click on the attribute settings button, okay? And you can click on create attribute, okay? And you can add multiple different types, whether it's a text field, date, drop-down list, whatever it is that you would like to do, and you can give it a description as well. The other important thing with attributes is that you can even, if you choose to, enforce a naming standard if you want to these particular folders and subfolders. The idea behind naming standard is that if you do turn it on and you upload a file that doesn't meet the naming standard, it gets placed into the holding area here. So it doesn't become part of the actual project. It gets put into the holding area until it does meet the naming standard conventions, and then it will automatically flow into the project itself. Okay. In terms of opening up the PDFs, just to show you what that looks like, I'm going to go to some finished ones here. I'm going to open up this PDF. And it's going to open that up here. Okay, so this is a PDF that I have. Okay, so when I open up a PDF, there's a couple of different tools which are available to us. The first one is the search tool up here, where you can search any particular word or keyword, and it will go through the document or the project. There is the compare tool, which is available to us, where you can compare not only this document between itself and its previous version, but other documents that are part of your project as well. And also, there's a little markups area here too. So if I wanted to, I could kind of scroll inwards. I could create a revision cloud markup if I wanted to. I could draw some text. I could use the pen tool, okay? So there's a nice little squiggle there. And if I wanted to, I could create a call out with text as well, if that's something I wanted to do. Measurement tools are also available, and you can customize what those markups look like in terms of their coloring, okay? The other thing to note here is that you can click on this little circle with the tick icon to create different types of issues and connect it to this document. You can do this with DWG and Revit files as well, which is what I'll show you in just a second. Okay, so that's a bit of a snapshot of what you can do as it pertains to docs, where, you know, in terms of PDF files. Okay, so I'm going to jump into work in progress. So I'm going to go to architecture, and I'm going to show you, you know, a DWG file as well. Okay, so this is a example building. That's a DWG, and you can see it opens up just fine. And if I wanted to, I could go in here for layers, and I could turn on and off the layers of this DWG. So for example, I could turn off and on the floor. I can do the same thing with mass. I could do the same thing with walls. Okay, all of that is available to you within the browser here. You've got your markup tools as well, obviously, that are over here. You can create issues, and you can use the measurement option as well. Okay, and just to top this off, the last one obviously is Revit models. So with regards to Revit models, like I said, there's a couple of different ways you can do this, which I'll go through, but this is what a model would look like in the cloud environment. So it works as a proper viewer. Okay, so I can go zoom in, zoom out. I can take a look at sheets and views. I can take a look at level information. If I wanted to, I can create issues, which will connect back into my Revit platform as well. The other thing you can do is I could click on any of these elements, right click, and I can ask to show the properties of these particular elements. I can hide them, and I can actually even align a 2D drawing to this 3D model if I wanted to as well. Okay, so that's a little bit around the viewing functionalities which are available to you. Okay, so I do want to give you a bit of a snapshot of what it looks like to put these Revit models into the cloud and save them as a cloud project. If you want to know more information around the CAD stuff, so your AutoCAD, your Civil 3D, we've done some webinars around that, or you can obviously just get in touch with us and we can sit down and go through those workflows with you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to, so what I'm going to do is that same Revit project, I'm going to open that up in my Revit environment and just go through the workflow with you. So I'm going to go open up my Revit software. So this is the same Revit sample model that we saw in the cloud in my Revit environment here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on the home button here just to show you a couple of things. So I know that I'm opening up, first of all, a cloud model because there's a little cloud symbol, okay, that's denoted. So this is what it looks like if it's just a basic project in your drive. And you can see a little cloud option here that pops up when it's a cloud project, okay? So this Revit project, like as I keep saying, there's a couple different ways I can put it into the cloud, and that's really dependent both on your workflow and the licensing that you have available, okay? So if you have BIM Collaborate Pro, what you can do is you can actually head over to the Collaborate tab, and you can create this project as a live central model in the cloud, okay? And that's what we call a Revit Cloud Work Shared model, okay? And that's only available with BIM Collaborate Pro. Again, we have done a webinar on this, so if you do want more information, just get in touch with us, okay? if you just want to save this model as it is with no additional functionality, just as a cloud project, you can just head up here into File, click on Save As, and save it as a cloud model. This is already a cloud model saved, so if I can just hit the Save button over here, and it's going to go ahead and you can see here it's a Save to Cloud, and it's just going to save it as a cloud model. Okay. Okay. Another way that you can go about this workflow is that if I head over to Home, you can see here there's an option that says Autodesk Docs. Okay, if I click on Autodesk Docs, you can see here I'm actually gone to the ACC demo project, I've gone to work in progress, architecture, and these are the two models which are available. So to illustrate the difference, I created LTU architecture, which is a work shared cloud model. That's what I was talking about, the one that you need BIM Collaborate Pro for. And then there is the basic sample project, which is just a cloud model, and you only need Autodesk Docs for that. Okay, so if you accidentally go into Collaborate and try to create a project as a central model in the cloud, and you're wondering why you can't do that, that's probably because you only have Autodesk Docs and you don't have BIM Collaborate Pro. Okay. All right. I'm just going to jump back into the ACC demo project. So that was a little bit around some workflows that are available for you in terms of putting files into the Docs environment. And so from there, we can head over to document reviews. Okay, so this is an area where you can create a formalized document review that gets essentially uploaded and put into the review area over here, and also documented as well. So I'm going to click on this create review up here. And from here, you can see here I can go into project files. I can go into work in progress, for example, go into my architecture folder, go into PDFs. And if I want to, I can go ahead and choose the PDFs that I want to use as part of this review. And I can hit this create button over here. And so from here, I can choose the approval workflow I want to use. I've created a very basic one here called Architectural Design Review. And so when you click on this approval workflow, it gives you an overview of the steps that are available within this architectural design review. Okay, so we start over here. From here, we go to this little square box. What the square box means is that a reviewer is going to take a look at the files that you've selected and decide whether or not they're files that should be approved or whether they should be declined. Okay. And there's actually a functionality here where if those documents get approved, they can actually be automatically uploaded into different folders within this cloud environment. Okay, and you can give it a review name over here. So if you want to know more information about how to create different types of reviews, you can head over to settings over here, okay, and create your own approval workflows. So this is only available in terms of creating approval workflows. This is only available if you're the project admin. Otherwise, project members can only just use whatever it is that the project admins have set up. Okay. Next is transmittals. Okay, so as it pertains to transmittals, you can just click on this button here around creating transmittal. You can go up to project files. You can go up to, again, I might go into work in progress, keep it consistent, click on drawings, and I can select all the drawings here that I want to add as part of that transmittal if I wanted to, and I can hit this create button. I've got one here that I've already done. The only thing here with transmittals is that you can only send a full transmittal to people who are part of this project, okay? So if you want to send a transmittal to someone outside of this project, the one workaround you can do is that once you do create the transmittal, it will actually be collated as a zip file as well. So you could download the zip file and send it across via email or Dropbox if that's something what you want to do. The other way that you can do it is that if you head back into files here. So this is a functionality that a lot of people don't, or rather aren't aware of, and they should start using, is if I head over to architecture here, and if I head over to PDFs. So if you have someone outside of this project and they don't have access to this project and you want to show them a PDF or a drawing, let's say, for example, a client, what you can do is you can click on the files that you would like, go up here to these three little dots and click on share. Okay. When you click on share, you can actually have an option called anyone with a link. So there's one here by default called project members with view only access or higher, but you can also choose anyone with a link, and you can give the link an expiry date. Essentially what this is that you can send it to someone and they will get a link. And basically, as long as they have that link, they're able to access the drawing or the PDF or the model that you've sent across, okay? And obviously that link is time bombed. So after a particular day and a particular time that you set, that link will no longer work, okay? Project admins can turn on and off this option if they choose to, because obviously you'll be sharing project sensitive data. And so you can set permissions and decide whether you want to turn this on and off if that's something that you want, okay? From there, from transmittals, we have issues as well. Okay, so this is a full collation of all the different issues that we have created for this project, or part of Autodesk Docs as well. You can see I've got a number of different issues that I've created. You can click on this little filter button over here and filter through these issues. So for example, you can filter by category if you only want to see, for example, coordination issues. If you only want to see design related issues, you can select, for example, what type of issues they are. So you can filter by a number of different layers of metadata to find the issues that you want to work with, okay? The other little cool thing about this issues area here is that you can also see where these issues got placed, okay? And if you click on this link, it will take you to the document in which this issue was placed. So for example, I might click on this one here, and it's going to take me straight to that PDF. It's going to take me straight to that PDF. And then I can see all the additional information I need to, okay? If you want to, you can also click on the issues that are here just by themselves and take a look at information if that's what you want to do, okay? So you have multiple different options available for you. You can head across to activity log to see the history around this issue, as in when it got put from open to in review, who it got assigned to, essentially what was done at every stage of this issue process. If you wanted a more high-level overview of all the issues in your project, you can select all of them here and click on the export button, or you can choose to use the reporting functionality within Autodesk Docs, okay? So if I head over to reporting, you can see here, you can create issue summary reports. You can create templates of the different types of reports you want to create, but you can create multiple different types of reporting, not just on issues, but on when files got uploaded, maybe something around reviews, transmittals, any of the functionality that you use within Autodesk Docs. Okay, and last one, I just want to quickly touch on bridging as well, just so you're aware of this new functionality. So it does give you a description. It says get started with Bridge. So Bridge allows you to formally share between projects and keep a record of all data that's been sent and received. So if there were reference files here that I wanted to move across to another project, instead of having to manually go through that process, I could actually set up some automations so that all the different projects are referencing the same reference model. And when that model gets updated, all those projects get that updated level of information. Okay, so that was a quick snapshot of Autodesk Docs. There is other functionality available. And so if you do want a deeper dive, if you want to learn more, just get in touch with us. Now we're going to move to Q&A time. Feel free to ask me any questions you want. And you know, now's your chance. Okay, so we've got, oh, it looks like, look at that. We've got quite a few questions here. Yes, so this webinar is recorded. It will be uploaded into YouTube. So if you do want a link, just let us know. Otherwise, you can just type in Vin0 into YouTube and you'll have a recording of this. I think they usually get uploaded around 24 to 48 hours. So you should get that pretty quickly. We have a question here on, can you federate models? Yes, there is an option to federate models, but that's more around model coordination, which is a additional module which is available in the Autodesk Construction Cloud. And that's available if you have a Autodesk BIM Collaborate license. Just more on that, Tony, we have done a webinar on how to federate models and what that looks like within the Autodesk Construction Cloud. So if you want to, just send us a quick email and we can send you the link, or again, you can go on YouTube and see a recording of that as well. So it's called, I believe it's called Change Management, Introduction to Change Management within the Autodesk Construction Cloud. We have another question here from Chris. Does someone need a Docs account to be able to view and make comment? Yes, that's correct. So they would need a Docs license in order to view and make comments. So in terms of viewing, I've just showed you an option on how you can share the document if they don't have a license. But in terms of making a comment and doing markups, you would need a license of Autodesk Docs. So you have a license of Autodesk Docs when you have an AEC Collections license, or you can buy Docs on its own as well. Okay. Are issues integrated into the, yes, they are. If you do want more information around that, Thomas, just get in touch with us and we can show you how that's synced in. In fact, you can even have a integration between your Navisworks and the Autodesk Construction Cloud environment, where in fact it's almost a two-way workflow, which you can choose to do. Okay. When will properties and metadatas from Inventor models be pulled through to ACC? Sorry, Brett, I don't have an answer to that one. I will need to find that out. I'm not sure, sorry. So if I can please have your email address, in chat, I can keep a record of it. And once I find that information, I can send you an email. Okay. So we have another question from Amelia. Hi, Judden. In the viewing AutoCAD and Revit models, is that read-only? So okay. So this is a bit of a loaded question. So hi, Judden. In the viewing AutoCAD and Revit models, is that read-only? If you turn on layers, does it affect the drawing? Do you need to have Revit and AutoCAD to view? Okay, I'll answer each question, each part of that question. So in viewing AutoCAD and Revit models, is that read-only? Yes, so when you're viewing Revit models and AutoCAD models within the Autodesk Construction Cloud, as far as the web portal goes, yes, that is read-only. So if you turn on layers, it does not affect the drawing, okay? Because it's just read-only, you're just viewing it in the web interface. Do you need to have Revit and AutoCAD to view? No. So you're actually viewing the models and the drawings using Autodesk's kind of model viewer that they have integrated as part of the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform, okay? So is the issue to any one option activated for the whole project, or can it be only for folders? Pargol, just on your question here, I do have your email address, so I may just get in touch with you afterwards. That's a bit of a workflow question, and we need to understand a little bit more about the project that's involved. Amelia, is there a cost for Autodesk Desktop Connector? No, it's not. It's free. You can just download it from the Autodesk webpage. So you can just type in Autodesk Desktop connector on like Google, and you can just download. Awesome. Thanks for that, Brad. I've just noted down your email address here. Do you need to have more than one license when working on? No, you don't, David. You just need. So that's actually a really question. Good. Well, I should say good question, David. So you don't need more than one license. You just need one license, and you can create as many projects as you want. You can have as much data as you want within the Autodesk Construction Cloud. So there is no limit on that front. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to make sure I've answered everything there. Okay, I'll just wait for another minute or two in case anyone has any more questions. We have another one from Tony. Can you get selected model element properties in Docs? Yes, you can. So you can select, for example, a wall and see the properties of that wall, or a floor, if that's what you want. So that's definitely available. Just a last quick note, Amelia, I have just sent you a link to download the Autodesk Desktop connector. As I say again, it is for free, and you can just click on that link there to have that downloaded. Another quick question. Can we add a template to a project after it's been created? No, but what you can do is that you can create a project template using an existing project that you've created. So that's something that you can do, but what you can't do is essentially, you've created a project and you've done a whole bunch of stuff, and then now you're like, I want to implement a template. You can't do that retrospectively. Yeah. Okay, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for coming to the webinar. Again, please do get in touch if you want any links to the previous webinars we've done, if you want more information, or if you just want to learn more about the other aspects of whether it's Autodesk Construction Cloud or any other product that you want to know more about. Awesome. Thanks so much.